Your inventory is full. Your skill has increased. Your skill has increased.
Out of range.
Your inventory is full. Your inventory is full. Your inventory is full.
Alright, alright.
Your inventory is full. Your inventory is full. Your inventory is full.
Stack of giant femurs might actually go for a lot. Shit, I better go home. I don't know. I'm at 33 out of 40. I could just keep going. I'm gonna keep going after I've made the sales, yeah. Oops.
Time to get a PC, regardless though.
You almost died.
Woodbury, I am impressed by what you have accomplished here in so short a time, adventurer. Would that I could ask you to remain here to assist me with my duties, but I know in my heart that greater tasks lie ahead for you. I have noticed the oracle tree has just shed a piece of its bark. No doubt it has a task that it wishes completed. You should speak with it. Vishnu, I am impressed by what you have accomplished here in so short a time, adventurer. Would that I could ask you to remain here to assist me with my duties, but I know in my heart that greater tasks lie ahead for you. I have noticed the oracle tree has just shed a piece of its bark. No doubt it has a task that it wishes completed. You should speak with it. Oh, thank you, adventurer. I feared I would never see Mist again, knowing only her death in my heart, never to be united with my faithful companion. I owe you more than you can know, and you have my eternal gratitude. Oh, the forest whispers of your feats of valor, adventurer. As I felt the harpies forced from their nests, a greater calm spread across the forest, its creatures once again feeling safe. I have feared sending another messenger to the archdruid, but I know that you will see my message safely to him. Deliver this to him, and know that the forest will see you safely along its paths to the forest of stone.
Oops. Charging my pen. Find the cord. There's cord. Can't be like that. It's got to be like up and around this and over. Yeah, it can't be. I'm gonna rearrange my chair too. Good, I got my 5th video, and in 2 hours,
To be in the presence of the
I'll be
oracle
done.
tree, it is almost to feel wisdom take form. Let me continue the telling. With Teldrassil grown, the archdruid approached the dragons for their blessings as the dragons had placed upon Nordrassil in ancient times. But Nosdormu, Lord of Time, refused to give his blessing, chiding the druid for his arrogance. In agreement with Nosdormu, Alexstrasza also refused Staghelm, and without her blessing, Teldrassil's growth has been flawed and unpredictable. Without the blessings of Alexstrasza the Lifebinder and Nosdormu the Timeless, Teldrassil's growth has not been without flaw. Strange beasts have been reported arising from the very ground of the tree. and crazed furbolgs attack passing travelers. I can only hope that the solution the Archdruid is looking for will be found quickly. I will pour all the files you brought into this vessel for you to deliver to Darnassus. Bring it to Fandral Staghelm. You will find him in the Druid Grove.
Greeting.
You found this on Teldrassil? Intriguing. This fruit is exotic. Perhaps its seeds were brought here from far off, perhaps even as far as Azeroth. And there's something about this fruit. It seems to have reacted very strangely with the soil of Teldrassil. Thank you, adventurer. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must study this further.
Your skill has increased.
Where did you get this? I haven't seen a plant like this since a sojourn I made to the Swamp of Sorrows, decades ago. It's amazing that a specimen made its way to Teldrassil, and it's grown to such a size. Thank you, adventurer. Forgive my shortness of words, but there is a test I would like to perform on this frond.
I am listening.
They say I'm love-struck, whatever that means. Sure, I spend my every waking moment thinking about Sierna. Sure, my home is full of paintings and drawings of Sierna. Sure, I often go days without eating, sleeping, or drinking, while I lament about the love we could have had. Is that so wrong? Now she won't see me. Me. I've tried sending her messages, but she won't even talk to another person unless they are a rogue. Could you deliver this flower to her? Don't forget to tell her it's from Janet. Like a cat dragged in from the rain, you scratch and claw, then do it all over again. I'll be back for more. Oh, I didn't see you enter, adventurer. What can I do for you?
Dual wield. Looking sweet. And sap.
El Nadres.
I got dual wield. Sweet.
Feel free to browse. May the stars guide you.
Oh, I'm almost there. This is gonna mess with me too much. It's so annoying. I just gotta be more careful about it. Gotta obsess about, like, not running off a cliff, you know? I really can't come back from that, so... Just gotta be very careful. Yeah, just gotta, like, not... Like, definitely just wait. Link? Uh-oh. I better pay attention. Wow, he killed him fast. I guess I didn't get Link. Oh. Getting close. I'm gonna ding again. I was trying to go north and ended up going south, damn it.
Hello.
Aw. Damn it. $21 silver. Well, easy come, easy go.
Good luck.
Fucking dumb. Why did I blow 21 silver on that? Oh well, because it looks cool. Whatever. I shouldn't have done that. Oh well. I got what I needed out of the gold. I mean, it doesn't matter. Alright, let's go. Go grab something to drink. I'll be right back, guys. Yeah. Oh yeah. We'll go north all the way down. See what the buggerts are in this. So. Damn it.
You have served the good people of Dolinar and Darnassus well, brave adventurer. As a member of the Sentinel Force of Teldrassil, I salute your efforts.
Why is there a guy dead next to me? I'm a BST, I can't help you. I'm sorry. I think now that I've dinged, I'm gonna change zones because these things are a little bit too easy.
Your inventory is full.
Oh. That's it, 1194 conquests. That's it. What? Seems like nothing at all.
Your inventory is full.
Oh, I throw away that. Wallace root cotton. I should have bought more bags for the fucking bank. I didn't think about it. Oh well.
Discovered that a corruption has grown in many of the timberlings, and seeds from such creatures carry their parents' taint. They are beyond my talents to repair. Denelin is very skilled with things that grow. He may find a cure for future timberlings. He may be their own
Future timberlings.
There is a malevolence growing in the timberlings. We are trying to find the source, but until we do, ... In order to keep Teldrassil safe, we must cut down the timberlings who are beyond help. Those that wander Wellspring Lake in northern Teldrassil are the most tainted. They must be removed. Destroy the timberlings you find there and gather the mossy tumors growing upon them. Bring the tumors to me so that they may be burned.
Burned. ...
Ishnu Allah.
Wind weather. Got 1 hour left, guys. A little bit less than an hour, 55 minutes. Oh my god. How is it I have 2 goblins already? Jesus Christ, man. What?
Farewell.
My goods are of the highest quality. Be careful.
The blessings of Cenarius be yours, adventurer. Our leader, Archdruid Staghelm, guides us and all of Teldrassil to a renewed life.
Ashar Zelar.
Itchy. I think the music's starting to put me to sleep. I'm gonna take it off and put on a video. Let's get music listened to all day.
Anytime mass destruction occurs on the map, at least from my experience, I'm not experiencing any stutters or performance drops. And believe me, fellas, I am absolutely going for maximum destruction here. I'm literally leveling buildings. So far, everything feels very responsive. Game feels good, the animations feel good. I feel like everything runs fluidly. Outside, of course, the characters you choose. If you're rocking a heavy character, then naturally you're gonna feel a lot more sluggish. But dude, rocking a medium or especially a light character, you feel the fluidity. You literally feel like you're skating across the map. Now, we did a little bit of digging on the servers, as that will be extremely important considering this is going to be a PvP game. Now, we weren't able to find much public information on this, but people have speculated that this is actually a 128 tick server, meaning the latency is extremely minimal. And overall, the servers help with making that gameplay feel super seamless. Now, I just want to take a step back and acknowledge just how beautiful this game is. The Finals runs off of Unreal Engine 5, and we've seen a few games running off of Unreal Engine.
Ooh, Unreal Engine.
Here, but this may be one of the most gorgeous ones brought to us. Factor in the cinematic map designs, as well as the dynamic time of day and weather system. You've really got a winner here, just in the department of visuals. Now, when you compare where the game is now to what the complaints were several months ago, it's clear that the devs are putting love into the game to get it to that ship state, to that out of beta state. That is a concern. We don't want to see this game in beta for the next 10 years. Now, as for the game and what it has to offer currently, there are two main options for players to sink their teeth into. The first is essentially a quick play cap.
Press you into service to deliver a message to the Grove of the Ancients in Darkshore, due south of Alldayerrydaybaby. You will most likely have to secure transport on a hippogriff, but I have faith enough in you that you can manage that. Take this to Onu, the Ancient of Lore. He has been awaiting word from me, even as I waited for news from the Oracle Glade.
Greetings, young rogue. What do you seek? Had I saved every flower that Dold, Janna, had sent me, I would have had the means to open a shop. Regardless, it seems as if Janek's latest courier may prove to be useful. Interested in some work, adventurer? We believe there is one being that may be able to help us understand what is happening to the forests of Tydrassil. Unfortunately, getting the creature to cooperate has proven disastrous. He hides on a branch at the outskirts of the Oracle Glade. All who have so far approached the satyr, whether through force or diplomacy, have met with doom. Perhaps stealth is the answer, adventurer. Find what Sathir the Ancient carries in his packs and report back to me.
With two modes being Quick Cash and Bank It. Here you can get the basics of the game down and enjoy a lower stakes, less sweaty experience. The second category, though, is called Tournaments, and boy does it feel like a tourney. You're literally thrown into a bracket with a handful of other teams, all competing for first place. And it's a knockout system. The top two teams in each match advances to the next tier of the bracket, where eventually you will have to qualify. And in the final match of this tournament, which can take upwards of like 30 minutes, you have a 1v1. your team of 3 against another team of 3, literally squaring you off on who's the best here. Now, currently there is a non-rank as well as a ranked mode for tournaments, and the ranked league starts at bronze. Then you can work your way up to silver, gold, platinum, and then finally diamond. Now, to top it all off, both playlists offer that glorious reconnect feature. Now, does it work every time? No, but they do have it in place so that if you do get kicked from the game, it should reconnect you, or at least give you an option to rejoin that match. Now, what about the monetization? The game is currently free, but they do have a battle pass consisting of 16 individual rewards that can be leveled up in both playlists. Now, any rewards that you earn will actually carry over to the full game, but the things that you actually unlock for your individual characters won't. That means everyone is going to be starting off on the same page, which actually takes me into the characters you can play. You have 3 options: light, medium, and heavy. All 3 are vastly different. Light being extremely fast. They're able to take advantage of things like cloaking and the grapple, but their health pool is much lower. Now, they have access to the sniper rifle, they also have access to the SMG, but even other really good weapons, like the sword, you wouldn't think would be good in a first-person shooter, but it's not, especially with cloaking. And if you lean into that playstyle of sneaking around the map, getting the flank on the enemies, you can pop off with the right build here for light. Now, medium. This seems to be the most well-rounded of the 3
Your skill has
classes, as it
increased.
gives you good health, but also good damage. Now, you can use ARs on this class, amongst other weapon options. The main takeaway for this one is that it's essentially a healer class. You don't have to primarily play healer. Matter of fact, you can go for the wall hack option, which is really good, but you can literally go an Overwatch round here and just be a healer, healing your heavy over and over, which makes them incredibly tanky. But on this class, you have access to things like the jump pad, a defib that you can use to get your teammates up. Again, a very well-rounded both support and offensive class. Now, some people are looking at this like, Cross, why would I ever want to play healer? Dude, some of my best kill streaks have been on this class. Now,
Your
for
skill
my
has
favorite
increased.
class, the heavy, the time, the thick boy. Oh, you
Healer.
did. Guys, if you like maximum destruction, you like RPGs, you like to take a sledgehammer and just chop a building down, you can do that with this class. You even have an ability that allows you to run straight through walls and shove people off the map. Careful though, because you can shove yourself off the map, so keep that in mind. This is the tanky class. Now, you can utilize guns here. You can rock an LMG. You can even rock a flamethrower, which is really good. And there's so many ways to play with this class. For instance, if you're actually sitting there defending a vault or a bank out, you could throw down this Titan bubble, which you could shoot through. You can't even shoot through one of those in Destiny. You could shoot through them though here. Now, granted, it's not that much health, but there's something beautiful about dropping that bubble amongst a group of enemies and daring them to step inside of it, and you smack them with your bamboo stick. There are so many ways to play this game, and with the destructible environments, this gives it that extra dimension. I've got a guy 3 floors above me that's with his teammates, and they're defending this area that's completely coated in poison gas. Do I risk running up the stairs to deal with them head on while taking damage over time from this poison? Or do I just level the building? Do I shoot the floor out from under them and drop them to my level and have bombs waiting for them when they drop? It's little things like this, guys, that make this game not only entertaining to play, but also entertaining to watch. The announcers that are actually talking to you while you play this game, that are literally talking about the teams that are playing, that are keeping up with everything that's happening in the arena, which actually gives you feedback if you listen, makes the finals feel alive. It truly makes you feel like you're in the finals. You're in a tournament setting. The aesthetic, the music, the announcers, these are all things that are really contributing to the vibe of this game feeling so alive. Now, with this game being a PvP game, obviously the issues of balance will come to play. I definitely don't think that this is balanced. I'm running around invisible with a sword. But I will say, there has been multiple times I have played this game that in the middle of my play session, I will say, hey, this is busted, or this is way too strong. To then, just a few games later, finding out a way to counter it. There seems to be hard counters to many different builds, without one clearly outpacing the others. And really, it just comes down to just player skill and how well you play with it. I will say though, the stun gun has been the most annoying thing to go up against. I get stunned by that thing and I'm literally frozen. It's like stasis back in Destiny 2 Beyond Light. You're literally just stuck there. And the guy runs up to you and backstabs you. I got this little light killing me in one backstab while I'm on a heavy. But that is going to be the task here for the developers, to really create a balanced experience. But I truly believe, guys, if done correctly, this is going to be a top tier esport game. It's just too damn entertaining to watch. So guys, that is our review here so far marked for the open beta for the finals. Again, it's only open beta for a bit longer, so jump in if you want to try it out. It is only present on new-gen consoles and PC, so for my PS4 players and my old Xbox players, RIP. Hopefully performance issues will level out across all platforms though, as well as server issues, as they've been hitting max capacity pretty much every day since the beta opened up. But the final shave has been a great experience to me so far. I'm really excited about the final product, and I'm especially excited about Arc Raiders. Well, fellas and ladies,
It's good.
This right here is North Korea. North Korea is dangerous. Very, very dangerous.
Praise all round in North Korea after its latest test of an intercontinental ballistic missile.
Kim Jong-un showing off North Korea's most powerful nuclear missiles to top Chinese and Russian officials.
Pyongyang's most provocative launch in months.
North Korea has published photos in its state newspaper of what it says are small nuclear warheads that can be fitted onto short-range missiles.
Quickly condemned by Japan as an unacceptable threat to regional stability.
To put it candidly, North Korea is an outlier, an unpredictable one at that. Run by the Kim dynasty, with the current dictator Kim Jong-un in power, the Korean nation has shaped itself to be one of, if not the most mysterious nation on the planet. North Korea is completely closed off to the world, with a lot of what we know about it coming from spy missions, and the few survivors who have managed to escape the country. The nation is so closed off that there is a shoot-to-kill order for anyone who arrives at its Chinese border. The citizens themselves, on the other hand, know next to nothing about the outside world, with Kim Jong-un keeping a strong grip on what his citizens know. Just reading foreign media content is a punishable crime with up to 15 years in jail. Censorship and propaganda in the country are so bad that it basically makes China seem like the land of the free and the home of the brave. However, this house of fear and military libertinism is crumbling and collapsing on itself. With hunger and economic ruin pounding on the nation's doors, could this be the end of North Korea as we know it? In this video, we will dive into the history of North Korea, how it came to be feared, the Kim dynasty, how it has survived so long, and if indeed there is a future for the nation. Speaking of futures, please help ensure the future of the channel by liking and commenting on this video. And that simple action says to the you-know-who...
Thank you so much for the extra content from my stream. I'd like to sub to your channel. Business Basics.
algorithm that you find our content interesting, and that in turn helps the channel grow. With that out of the way, let's get back to the basics. North Korea has a long and troubled history. The nation has a long history, albeit a largely sad one, and you can see how its past has affected its present on a very deep level. So, in order to understand what's currently going on, let's take a trip to the past and see how the country came to be. Unlike other countries, like the 247-year-old United States, North Korea is relatively young. In fact, the history of North Korea began with the end of World War II in 1945. That's not too long ago. Prior to that time, the whole of Korea had been under Japanese rule. This had been so since 1910, and Japan had for an entire generation suppressed Korean culture and heritage and made the land theirs. However, with the defeat of the Japanese in 1945 came the freedom of Korea. The territory was taken from Japan as proceeds of war, leading to the division of Korea at the 38th parallel by the United States, with the Soviet Union occupying the north and the United States occupying the south. The Soviet Union, the power that was given the North to administer, then refused to follow the UN mandate for democratic elections nationwide. This led to the United States declaring the democratically elected government of South Korea as the sole legitimate government of the Korean Peninsula because it was, well, democratic. This decision by the United Nations created massive tensions with the Korean Peninsula. It all ultimately led to the communist dictatorship in the North rejecting the United Nations proclamation and claiming the sole right to rule Korea.
Lady Sathra was once beloved of Illuminum. Graceful and pure, the spider spun her silver threads through the moonlight, catching the evening mist. The silvery dew had strong healing powers and was kept here in the temple. But of late, Sathra has descended into madness. Her future generations are now threatened as well. Find Lady Sathra, adventurer, and end her suffering. She dwells along the northern borders of Teldrassil near Wellspring Lake. Gather her silvery spinnerets and bring them back to me.
What brings you here?
Leader made this proclamation. Keep this family tree fresh in your mind. It'll help
May
you
the
understand the Kim
stars
dynasty as we
guide
go
you.
along. Because he had massive support from the Soviet Union, he was somewhat unleashed to do as he pleased. Kim Il-sung then declared that the land will be called the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, or as we will be calling it throughout the video, DPRK. This was on
DPRK,
September
that's
9th,
50.
1948. The communist government proceeded
Gotta
to
pee,
use
I'll sorry, I'll be
Seoul
right back.
to rule the entire Korean peninsula, with Seoul as its capital. As you can imagine, this wasn't taken well or lying down. There was one result that was to come out of this war. It wasn't long before this war came about. Months later, on the 25th of June 1950, around 75,000 soldiers from the northern Korean peninsula crossed over the 38th parallel, the boundary between the Soviet-backed Democratic People's Republic of Korea to the north and the pro-Western Republic of Korea to the south. The war had begun. History will remember this moment as the first aggressive military action of the Cold War between the sides backed by the Soviet Union and the United States. The moment the northern soldiers invaded the south, America took action. Barely a month after the invasion had started, American boots were on the ground. You see, in Washington's eyes, this was much more than a US-backed South versus a Russian-backed North. For the US, it was against the forces of international communism itself. President Harry Truman at the time said, "If we let Korea down, the Soviets will keep right on going and swallow up one place after another." That's just how passionate the United States felt about this endeavor. That passion, however, was facing the rock-hard wall of North Korea's will. This made the war incredibly hard for the Allied forces of America, South Korea, and their friends. Caught somewhat off guard, the Southern forces were frightened, confused, and seemed inclined to flee the battlefield at any provocation. To put it simply, they were not battle-hardened. As if that wasn't enough, that period saw one of the hottest and driest summers on record, and desperately thirsty American soldiers were often forced to drink water from rice paddies that had been fertilized with human waste. You can imagine the result that came from this. Everything around the camps became a cesspool of disease and infection. On the other hand, the North Korean army was well-disciplined, well-trained, and well-equipped. They had not come into the war unprepared, and their initial assault reflected that. The first several months of the war were characterized by armies advancing and retreating up and down the Korean peninsula. The initial North Korean attack drove United Nations command forces to a narrow perimeter around the port of Busan in the southern tip of the peninsula. After the front stabilized at the Busan perimeter, General MacArthur, the commander in charge of the Allied forces, surprised the North Koreans in September 1950 with an amphibious landing at Incheon behind North Korean lines, forcing the North Koreans to retreat behind the 38th parallel. Though the Incheon landing and the assault that followed was a success, it also brought about unwanted results. As American troops crossed the boundary at the 38th parallel and headed north towards the Yalu River, the border between North Korea and Communist China, the Chinese started to worry about protecting themselves from what they called armed aggression against Chinese territory. The then Chinese leader, Mao Zedong, sent troops to North Korea and warned the United States to keep away from the Yalu boundary unless it wanted a full-scale war. China already supported North Korea's communist agenda, but to risk direct war with China was something that the United Nations did not want. The US, however, did not have any problem with that. As we said before, the spread of communism was viewed as a direct threat to the existence of America. In October, the United Nations, urged by the United States government, approved the movement of UN forces across the 38th parallel into North Korea in an effort to unify the country under a non-communist government. In spite of warnings issued by the Chinese government, the United Nations forces moved towards the Yalu River, marking the North Korean border with Manchuria. Discounting the significance of initial Chinese attacks in late October, MacArthur ordered the United Nations command to launch an offensive, taking the forces to the Yalu. That was the last straw for the Chinese, who then came together in full coordination in late November to attack. The Chinese offensive together with the North Korean army was so strong that it pushed the might of the United Nations command south of the 38th parallel in a fell swoop. That invading force went on to take the South Korean capital of Seoul as well. That had to be quite the push if you ask us. However, it wasn't long before this pushed the ground to a halt. By early 1951, the Chinese offensive had lost its momentum, and the UNC, bolstered by the energized 8th U.S. Army, led by General Matthew B. Ridgway, retook Seoul from the Communists and advanced back to the 38th parallel. They were back in their own territory. From July 1951 until the end of the hostilities, the battle lines remained relatively stable, and the conflict ground to what effectively is a stalemate. With millions of lives having been lost and very little change having taken place on the ground, the Truman administration abandoned its original plans. Coming into the war, the hope had been to reunite North and South Korea and rid themselves of communism in the Korean Peninsula. But now the US just wanted to avoid the possible escalation of the conflict into a Third World War involving China and the Soviet Union. US President Eisenhower, who took charge after Truman's term ended, said something that could be regarded as the culmination of American feelings at the time. He said, "We could not stand forever on a static front and continue to accept casualties without any visible results. Small attacks on small hills would not end this war." President Eisenhower soon sought to end the violence that had now encapsulated the peninsula. Using both the rod and the carrot, President Eisenhower finally achieved his goal of bringing an armistice on July 27, 1953. America was trying hard to fashion lasting peace in order to avoid a wider war with Russia and China, or even, as some word, World War III. However, after America's withdrawal, despite having waged a vicious war on the fronts, left the Korean Peninsula just as divided as it had been since the close of World War II at the 38th parallel. There wasn't much real change, just piled up bodies of dead soldiers and civilians who, as painful as it sounds, had their deaths come with no quantifiable change in the geopolitical sense. All in all, by the time the armistice turned into the ending of the war, over 5
Which happens in
million
war a
soldiers and
lot.
civilians had lost
No
their lives.
quantifiable change for lots and lots of life lost. And they never tell you this about war. But I think it would be probably the best argument against it if you were to tell a young man, maybe a 14-year-old man, you would say, something they never tell you about war is that a lot of people die and achieve nothing at all.
As the Forgotten War. This was because of the lack of attention it received compared to more well-known conflicts like World War I and II and the Vietnam War. The Korean Peninsula remains divided today along similar borders, with the two sides agreeing on a border formed by the Korean Demilitarized Zone. Here's an interesting fact to note about North and South Korea. Because the two nations never signed an official peace treaty, the two Koreas technically have been at war since 1950. Imagine that. It's a frozen war. We wanted to talk about why we decided to sponsor.
Your inventory is full.
Oh, right.
Viewers of the channel know we don't get sponsors a lot because our content is controversial. That's why we decided to launch YouTube Basics Academy. Let us first tell you, being a YouTuber isn't for everyone. So before you decide to start a channel, you must first decide whether this is something you want to do. But if you are someone who starts your own channel,
Training
not
for
sure if YouTube is
YouTube.
for you or not, then we have a guide for you. This is exactly why we created.
Here's Skycast training for YouTube. Do what you love.
Your inventory is full.
Do something that somebody wants to see.
You can
And
sign up for a 5-day course by clicking the link in the description. Best of all, if you sign up now, you can get a free
Be
guide
entertaining.
on best YouTube niches for beginners. So click the link below.
Niches.
And QR code on your screen to sign up.
Anytime they tell you about a niche, it's not a niche anymore.
Interesting in North Korea. Kim Il-sung tightened control of North Korean politics with the support of the armed forces whom he, in classical
Your
dictator
inventory is
style,
full.
made sure they received pay and benefits. An official, Park Hwan-yong, who had been the National Party's vice chairman and foreign minister of DPRK, was blamed for the failure of the southern population to support North Korea during the war and suffered execution after a show trial in 1955. In fact, most of the South Korean leftists who defected to the North in 1945 to 1953 also received charges of espionage or other crimes.
Your
against
skill
the
has
state,
increased.
leading to their execution, imprisonment,
Your inventory
or
is full.
exile to remote agricultural and mining villages. This marked the beginning of an aggressive weeding by Kim Il-sung as he purged his rivals. This cleared the way for Kim to have what was simply absolute power in the nation. Perhaps you could say this was the key to the creation of
Your
a
skill
complex
has
network
increased.
of Kims in North Korea, using the help of the secret police. With internal political matters handled, Kim started the attempt to rebuild the nation. In this pursuit, He announced the 1954-1956.
Your skill has your inventory is
His
full.
goals were simple, on paper at least. The 3-year plan was supposed to repair the massive damage caused by the war and bring industrial production back to pre-war dismal levels. To add to this, Kim followed that with a 5-year plan of 1957 to 1961 and the 7-year plan of 1961 to 1967. This is the part where we'd like to say that the plans were a raging success, and now North Korea was swimming in money like Daffy Duck, but unfortunately no.
Daffy Duck.
All these plans failed dismally to bring growth in industrial
Your inventory
protection
is full.
and substantial development of state infrastructure.
Incoming
In the
emote.
1960s, North Korea's state-controlled organs proclaimed that North Korea had become the second most industrialized nation in East Asia, trailing only Japan. This, of course, was just pure propaganda. The reality of the situation was that North Korea was at death's door. Kim's war adventures and total state control of the economy had put North Korea in an absolutely horrible position. Kim Il-sung made several blunders that had led the economy to that point, a point of utter brokenness.
Your inventory is full.
The dictatorship commanded a partial collectivization, with peasants being urged, often forced, into agricultural cooperatives. By 1958, collectives conducted virtually all farming, and the cooperatives increasingly merged into larger productive units. The challenge was that because the ethos wasn't organic and instead was forced, the production wasn't what Kim hoped for. Also, like all the post-war communist states, North Korea undertook massive state investment in heavy industry, state infrastructure, and military buildup, neglecting the production of consumer goods. By paying the collectivized peasants low state-controlled prices for their products, and using the surplus thus extracted to pay for industrial development, the state carried out a series of 3-year plans, bringing the industry's share of the economy from 47% in 1946 to 70% in 1959, despite the devastation.
I'm gonna close WoW here.
Huge increases in expenditures for
I'm one quest from leaving the area and going to Dark Shore, which is where the game starts to really start for me. It's gonna be fun. But I'm tired, and I feel like the best I can do is make a mistake right now, so I'm just gonna not push that and just chill out and do some farming on New World, like you know, shouldn't be a problem. Actually, let's see what's left. Yeah, it's just like 25 minutes left. I wouldn't mind doing some work on Rust if it's not up. It's not update, right? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can log right here. It really doesn't matter. Yeah, not at all. I mean, shit, it really doesn't matter. I don't think it matters that, like, oh, no, they won't run at the same time, will they? No, so that's all right. Yeah, they won't. So we'll just pop over. I wouldn't mind hitting like 4 or 5 metal nodes just so I feel like my metal problem isn't something I need to deal with in the middle of the day. And just jump in the MMO RPGs tomorrow. I think it's a good use of the end of my day. The finals playtest will be pretty fun tomorrow. I want to see what their healing is, because if their healing's fun, I'll do it. And if it's not, I won't. BST burn party, do you need it? 42 plus that too. That's cool that they're doing those. Who's on at this hour? Uncle Parmesan, huh? He's real. Brand new player? Oh. Oh, or it's a brand new account. I wonder if I'm jumping into a raid right now. It would be funny. You never know. Oh. Yeah, so I came to drop stuff, yeah. And then I will warp back and then leave. Oh, I'm 20 now. I can warp out, actually. I can just go right back to the warp NPC. I suppose it's really the same thing, kind of. Yeah, I got some crystals here today. That's good. That'll be like 1500 G. I like rust. Money? Oh, money. Yay. Very good money. Hey, 10,000. I can buy my fishing lure and make some money so I can buy stuff. Good, good. Okay, wind is nice, but we shall see. Yeah, you and you. I guess I'll sell the wind too, because I mean I need money. It's fine. I mean I don't know. Yeah, I mean wind. Wind and Yagudo necks are some money. I guess. Yeah, I mean, like, that's one way to do it, yeah. I guess. I guess I'll stack them for now. I'll keep them because they're kind of useful. Elmo meat. Hair meat. All those rabbits and all I got was 2 hair meat. That was it. Man. Honey, lightning. I'm gonna sell those Delmo meats. Green seed, silk, insect, bird feather, giant femur, 2 beehives, animal glue, papaga, revival, and 3 treant bulbs. Looking through for any other stacks. Don't see it. There's a stack of copper ingots. Which, with, if I recall, yeah, but isn't that fire? Let's go back to the goldsmithing guide. Fire crystals, zinc ore, copper ore, brass sheet, brass scales or cornets, brass ingot. Brass ingot is hard to do. Wow, I'm not rated. Not rated. Well, that's good. All I wish to do was to go out with a jackhammer. Oh, did I give him my jackhammer? I think I did. He was like probably like shitting himself. He was like, what? Well, I did. I gave him my jackhammer, unless I have the second one over here. Go see what's going on with the other base first. Does that look like this good? So, and just take like a real weapon, I guess. I don't have any ammo, so that's okay. I mean, that's all I really need. I just need like some nails. See, there's some nails lying around here. Nails or anything. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I guess I will sell the ingots because I need the money. Let's see what other stuff we have here. Nothing too much, I don't think, but yeah. Yeah, and it'll all keep stacking up. There's just enough for one of my Astral Ring runs. I could go do the Astral Ring run. Astral Ring run? I don't know. Might be kind of fun. I have enough to run 120 plus whatever's in there. Oh no, more than that. Oh yeah, 140, which is what, 7 runs? Yeah, 7 runs could, but not, I don't want to do this when I'm tired. But yeah, once I'm enough high level, yeah, I'm like got enough XP. Could go work on Astral Rings. It's definitely something I could do, but I feel like the gears should be the first thing I do. That means buying a shrimp lure. Gotta go get a shrimp lure. But we do have some stuff to sell, which is nice. We'll go sell that. In the game, I don't really have the materials to make much in terms of... Oh, there's bullets. So that's at least good. Let's, did I get my attachment weapons out of there? I don't know. Let's just bring that. That's an 8x, right? Yeah. That's good enough for what I need. Yeah, and then we'll just, like, any nails. Yep, nails. Nails are good. Maybe like a suit and a helmet. Yeah, and some meds. Yeah, I don't need the dagger per se. I mean, yeah, well, no, I really don't need that dagger, no. I don't need anything. I don't need XP or anything, so it makes it much easier. Take the pills, because who cares? Yeah, I don't really see the point of that. Yeah. It would be fun to materialize stuff like that, but yeah, I don't really need it. Let's go make some sales. So hopefully when I log in, there'll be like 10k more. And I'll sit there, white mage, black mage, and I'll sling tellies while I fish. Yeah, it seems good to me. Let's go. It's 12:32. It's a nice, good time to do this. Hopefully it's nice outside. Oh, it is nice. Yeah. Nice. Thought I heard a zombie. Where's my truck at? I don't know if my truck's still here, but I see a lot of stone, but I don't see a lot of metal per se. There's some. Where did my car end up? It might be gone by now. Somebody could have definitely like found it. Yeah, I frankly don't care. I think I see enough metal nodes to get by for the night. There's a horse, that's helpful. I was like, what do I see by the horse? Yeah. Yeah, horse is helpful, actually. I'm not going to build another big base for a long time, I don't think. I'll probably keep like 2x2s. With boxes in them, stacked 2x2s. Or I could just do like 3x3s, but just like have the center be the back two, I mean. Could do something like the mini frustrator. I haven't done that in a while. There's some metal over there. It's fun to grind some rust.
Electricity production, steel production, and machine building resulted. The government focused on producing tractors and other agricultural machinery in large numbers, with little increase in agricultural production. By 1958, North Korea's economy still depended largely on aid from the Soviet Union and China, its standard of living lagging dramatically behind South Korea. As a result of those dictatorial changes, the population suffered malnutrition and food shortages, while the state-controlled press painted a rosy picture. Anyone contradicting the state line that North Korean agriculture surpassed South Korea's, and that the North Korean standard of living surpassed South Korea's dramatically, received a nighttime visit from Gil Doson's secret police force, often never heard from again. Standards of living, suffocated by the collectivization of farms, rapidly decreased in North Korea in the late 1950s and into the 1960s. Only Kim's tight dictatorial control of the police, army, and media kept the North Korean farmer from rebelling in a classic peasant revolt. To make it worse, consumer goods, always in chronic shortage from the state-controlled mandate for production, rather than consumer-driven production as in the South, led to serious discontent. North Korea's economy had followed the Soviet Union's pattern. Instead of letting the marketplace determine what factories produced, the state mandated production quotas without consulting the real needs of consumers. As a result, goods that consumers did not want languished on shelves, while goods in high demand had long waiting lists. This is what led to severe shortages of the essentials. If we're being frank, it was only massive aid by Russia and China for ideological reasons to advance world communism that kept North Korea from collapsing. All the while, Kim used his police force to increase his image as a god and to demand worship by the people of North Korea. It was either that, or you defaulted to the punishment, which was, as you know by now, imprisonment and death. To the outside world, he went out of his way to portray the image of a prosperous day. We're pretty sure you're asking yourselves where the international community was at this time. Well, visitors to North Korea receive state-appointed guides. That means that they strictly travel arranged routes. These all prepared city streets, but they never set out on their own. Any North Korean citizen who spoke with an international visitor without permission was imprisonment or death. Yes, how things go in North Korea. You can make your tea black or white. That's how easily imprisonment and death were easily offered up. That's a joke, but in all seriousness, it was easy to lose your life for a violation of crimes. In fact, according to current reports, it still is. The North Korean press presented North Korea as an alternative to the capitalist model of development sponsored by the United States. The state-controlled press announced that by the late 1960s, North Korea provided all its people with medical care, universal education, adequate caloric intake, and livable housing. This was all, well, we're a PG channel, so we'll just say that it was a lie. In fact, North Korea had the highest spending on military forces per capita in relation to GDP, and the population lived in poverty. Actually, it was more like wallowing in poverty, something you'll see being a trend as we go on. Despite this, Kim Il-sung continued to push the country in a direction that he saw fit. He promoted Jushae, meaning self-reliance, a slogan he began to develop in the late 1950s, ultimately proclaiming it as the nation's official ideology. They aimed to make North Korea self-sufficient. Ironically, the North Korean elite, the new class, had an insatiable appetite for quality and luxury products from Japan, and the West, while the people of North Korea suffered without adequate food or housing. The dictatorship of the proletariat approved that practice, as the communist ruling government served as a transition to the workers' paradise. Although the state-controlled press worked hard to secure the truth of the common person's life in North Korea, the word of their real living circumstances came to South Korea, the West, and Japan through defectors. We will talk more about these defectors later in the video. The philosophy of Juche served to support Kim Il-sung's communist dictatorship, but did nothing to improve the lives of common North Koreans. Kim used Juche to urge the North Korean people to resist foreign invasion by launching a series of mass campaigns designed to strengthen the country economically, militarily, and culturally. One of Kim Il-sung's biggest challenges as a supreme leader came about as a result of the Sino-Soviet. This was when Russia and China parted ways due to differing interests, thereby placing North Korea's communist dictatorship in jeopardy for 1960. Relations between North Korea and the Soviet Union worsened when the Soviets concluded that Kim Il-sung supported the Chinese side. This was not entirely true. In actuality, Kim had hoped to capitalize on the tensions between the nations to grow in influence. However, once out of the Soviet Union graces, North Korea suffered. All the aid and credit it had enjoyed from the Soviet Union was now a big hole that China did not have the capacity to fill. With this spell was doomed for North Korea. As a result of this, Kim's enthusiasm for Mao Zedong's policies declined, despite his rhetorical denunciations of revisionism. While he supported Chinese campaigns such as the Great Leap Forward, he saw Maoist initiatives such as the 100 Flowers Campaign and the Cultural Revolution as destabilizing and dangerous. In that way, Kim Il-sung showed his determination to mark an independent path for North Korea when possible. So, compiling all these factors, what do we have now in the story of the fall of North Korea? Well, due to the inherent contradictions in Juche, the massive expenditures on the military without Chinese and Russian aid, the failure of the collectivization program, and the rejection of free enterprise, North Korea suffered declining economic fortunes, as have all communist dictatorships. North Korea's lack of foreign reserves and a prohibition many Western nations had placed on trade and investment in North Korea spiraled the country into economic depression. Put simply, North Korea had way too many problems and too few friends. During that time, Kim strengthened his grip on the country, looking for every opportunity to overthrow the South Korean government. It's funny what power can do to a man, even in times of dire struggle. The goal was still to rule more land. With such priorities misplaced, you can obviously guess what came next. More problems. By the 1970s, North Korea's economic condition had become dire. People think that rock bottom is the worst till you discover even lower rocks. Even the tight control by the state media had a hard time presenting a rosy picture of North Korean life, the official line becoming one of slight economic reverse. To make matters worse, the Soviet Union's cutoff of subsidized oil dealt a staggering blow to North Korea. At the same time, the price of oil on the international markets had reached an all-time high, combined with North Korea's depleted reserves of foreign currencies, especially US dollars to create emergency conditions. Oh yes, you mentioned that North Korea had a large deficit of friends, right? This made the sanctions and economic restrictions on it that much harder to bear. So, backed into a wall, what was North Korea to do? Well, turn to crime, of course. We're just kidding. But they did turn to shady work. To raise funds, the North Korean regime began to return to weapon sales, drug sales, and counterfeiting United States dollars as a way of dealing with a shortage of US dollars. Kim needed money, and most of it went to funding the army, his army. Even in times of poverty, Kim continued to maintain one of the largest standing armies in the world. Most people can't fathom the idea of a population letting a leader get away with this. But well, in Korea, things went differently. Kim Il-sung advanced the idea through his communist-controlled press that he needed to build up his military to establish independence from Chinese and Russian aid. In reality, China and Russia increasingly cut North Korea off from military and economic aid, and moving into the 1980s and 1990s, the two governments increasingly found Kim to be an embarrassment. He made several diplomatic blunders, including an attempt to assassinate Park Chung-hee, an attempt to build invasion tunnels under the DMZ, and his provocation of war with the United States and South Korea through incidents like the Pueblo seizure, which left both China and Russia unenthusiastic. Stalin's legacy had been denigrated in Russia, and Kim ruled in the Stalinist fashion. The attempt to find finances to increase the wealth of his nation led Kim toward mining enterprises. This was done using forced labor in the mines and borrowed capital to purchase equipment. Even if the international community had decided to buy Kim's minerals, his plan fell apart with the collapse of the price of minerals. That totally threw what was already a reckless plan into the blender. Of course, those who kept suffering the most were the people who already suffered famine and the lack of even basic necessities. For people in Kim's military, or the new class of North Korean leadership, these problems were non-existent. Because of this, the propaganda of Kim's workers' paradise in North Korea kept being perpetuated. It's clear, however, that Kim's empire was hurting badly. For one, his centrally planned economy emphasized heavy industry and required capital that the North Korean communist dictatorship lacked. This led to not a change in strategy, but the continuation of a failed approach as Kim kept pushing Juche to the masses. Despite all...
Okay, guys, it has been a wonderful evening. I have reached the end of my push here in 2 minutes. Checked my base and closed everything up. Closed out of Rust. I didn't die in hardcore. Got 2 levels in Final Fantasy 11 and I don't know 11 levels in WoW, and did a lot today. And I just want to say thank you. Just a reminder, this video is ending in 60 seconds, and before it does, I just want to come and do some advertisement. You've been watching skycat.live. I'm a full-time variety gamer all day, every day. Put me on in the background. Come and sub to me on Twitch. I have several thousand followers on Twitch, and you can find me on YouTube. I'm putting videos on YouTube every day, or you can click on the cat space to donate to me, PayPal, if you wish to show some love. And thank you so much for your time here. Here we are down to the last 30 seconds of the last 12 hours of the recording. And on that note, I'm going to kill the stream and kill the video. I love you guys. Tune in tomorrow for the same exact thing you saw today. No, I'm sorry. We're playing a new game tomorrow. A new game in the morning called Trials or something. I forget the name of it. It's like the something or another. I forget. Like, yeah. But anyways, got a new finals play test. I'm going to play the finals play test and see how that goes. And, oh, did somebody speak? Yeah, I think they did. Anyways, that is the end of the video. Bye.